begin tonight with our reporter, Alan Abel.
In 1972, after a dream, General Amin declared the economic war, which meant, on one hand, giving 90 days to the Asians to leave the country, taking with them the strict minimum, and on the other hand, distributing their business to the Uganda.
In downtown Toronto, Canadians from a spectrum of ethnic backgrounds are commemorating a pivotal moment in the molding of a new Canada.
He just came from Africa, from India to Africa. So that's when he was quite a bit younger, and that's him in 1936. These are my grandparents.
This is the Multicultural History Society of Ontario, on the 22nd anniversary of the arrival of 6,000 Asian refugees from the African nation of Uganda, from which they had been expelled by the dictator Idi Amin. It was 1972, and in Canada, Pierre Trudeau had just proclaimed as national policy the preservation of minority cultures. At the same moment, people like Maurice and Rachel Pintos were being left stateless and penniless by Amin's ethnic cleansing. In Uganda, the Pintos owned a thriving travel agency, but the expulsion cast them into an utterly new life in the Toronto suburbs.
I was a great admirer of Pierre Trudeau and of his multicultural policies. And I felt, well, this is a new country and a new challenge. And I threw in my lot and I said, Canada is going to be the place for me.
In Canada, the Pintos and nearly all the other Ugandan Asians prospered. They're one of the shining success stories of multiculturalism. Maurice went from gas station attendant to the Ontario Civil Service and won the province's highest award. That's just what the designers of multiculturalism had in mind. University of Alberta professor Manoli Lupul was a Trudeau advisor.
The intention of multicultural advocates like myself from the very beginning was not to displace Anglo-American Canadian culture, which envelops even Quebec. It's inevitable in North America. The intention was to make room in that culture for cultural aspects drawn from more than just two cultural roots.
The Right Honourable Pierre Trudeau would soon be playing a key role in rescuing thousands of victims of the expulsion.
Usually it takes 2 years rather than 2 days, so we got some lessons to learn.
You can imagine my relief when the plane finally taxied to a runway for takeoff and the start of my journey into hope.
It was a weekend to recall their migration to Canada, one destination pursued by many dreams.
Flight to Canada on the first aircraft out of Entebbe, sponsored and assisted by the Canadian government. The lost hope in the citizenship of the land of my birth and my journey into hope. My trials and tribulations, failures and successes in my contribution to my adopted country,
So tonight
Canada.
we celebrate an act of courage and an act of boldness that has underscored our country's commitment not only to human rights, but a sense of international justice.
Ahead, you will see Maurice's commitment and dedication towards multiculturalism, covering ethnic youth, apprenticeship, sports, culture, recreation, and above all, talks at different ethnic elementary schools.
hope that when we go back to class, we feel a little bit of inspiration. I think when you go home and you see your parents, those of them who immigrated here, you look at them with a newfound respect and love for how much they've had to sacrifice to bring you, to make sure you were born and raised in a country as wonderful as Canada. So if you could all stand and applaud Mr.